washed ashore with salt-cracked lips and a mind full of formulas. A chemist in a world that believed copper was magic. The islanders who found him knelt not to help, but to offer thanks to a carved stone Leviathan, their sea god.
The sea god demands blood, and you, Outworlder, are the chosen vessel. In 3 days, at the full moon, your life will quench the Leviathan's thirst.
3 days. I am not dying for a carved rock. I just need a plan.
Pray to whatever weak gods you know. The Leviathan's hunger is absolute.
You are all insane. This god of yours is just stone and fear.
Silence. Bind him well. The god watches, and he does not forget.
Rough hands dragged Kazu toward a crude holding pen, the carved Leviathan's shadow falling over him. Thus began his countdown. 3 days to overturn a god, or become its next sacrifice. Inside the wooden cell, Kazu observed the cult's frantic prayers. Their god was a tyrant, and tyranny runs on fear, not faith.
Drink. The priest wants you strong for the altar.
She said it, like she's handing me a last meal. There's doubt behind those eyes. Your sea god seems hungry. How many sacrifices has it claimed?
Too many. The last was my brother, taken 3 moons ago.
There must be places here where the earth steams, where you find yellow stones.
The eastern springs bubble with ash. The western cliffs bleed yellow crystal. But they are sacred, the god's veins. Anyone who touches them is cursed.
Ash and sulfur. Sodium carbonate and brimstone. If I can reach them, I can make something better than a curse.
She looked toward the predator shrine, swallowed hard, and left without another word. But she'd already given him a map. Now, he just needed to break these ropes before the full moon, under cover of darkness. Lyra returned with a sharpened stone, and sawed through his coarse ropes.
Quickly, the patrols change at the moon's peak. Follow me to the eastern springs.
She guided him through hidden ravines and twisting goat paths, the hiss of steam growing louder. He knelt by the bubbling pools, the ash rising in clouds. He carefully scraped the alkaline powder into a pouch.
This ash is sodium carbonate. It's the catalyst. I need it to make a fire that even salt water cannot extinguish.
You speak of forbidden things. The priest says these springs are the god's tears. You will curse us all.
She's terrified, but she's still here. That's more than most of these people.
Then, through the mist, orange torchlight flickered. Heavy footfalls and rough voices echoed nearby.
Guards, into the steam now.
They crouched in the scalding fog until the footsteps faded. Now, she was complicit, and they were hunted. While Kazu planned his climb, Lyra stole a slab of animal fat from the storehouse.
The priest hoards it for lamp oil. He won't miss this much.
At the western cliffs, Kazu faced the crumbling volcanic seam. Steam hissed around him.
Just a little higher. The crystals are right there, like frozen fire.
He scraped yellow sulfur crystals into a pouch. Each one a precious step from sacrifice. A slab of basalt gave way beneath him. He caught a root, legs dangling over the churning surf. He descended with a pounding heart, ducking as a torchlit patrol passed above. In the alcove, Lyra met him with the rendered tallow. They had all 3 ingredients.
We have all the forbidden things, but the moon is nearly full.
Now they must turn this mix into a miracle that works on the first try or die trying. In the rocky alcove, Kazu combined the tallow and ash, kneading them into a thick, gray paste.
This base will hold the sulfur. The reaction needs to be violent enough to ignite on water.
He pinched in the yellow powder, but the mixture only smoldered, releasing a thin, acrid smoke.
Not enough oxidizer. The proportions are wrong. It needs more ash to feed the flame.
A second attempt flared too violently, searing his hand and leaving a black scorch on the stone.
You are bleeding. This madness will kill us before the priest does.
She's terrified. So am I. But we can't stop now. Not when we're this close.
By candlelight, he recalculated, his shadow flickering on the walls as the night deepened.
The ratio must be precise. 1 part sulfur, 3 parts tallow, 4 parts ash. Then it should self-ignite on seawater.
Dawn broke over a new batch, untested. Outside, the rustle of patrols grew constant. A sharp pop echoed from the alcove as a new test went awry, sending a plume of smoke curling into the dawn sky.
The sound was too loud. Someone will have heard.
He smothered the flame, but the black scorch on the rock and the acrid smell were undeniable. Orin's guards dragged Lyra before the temple steps, her face pale as the high priest loomed over her.
The earth reeks of strange fire. You serve the Outworlder. Confess his sorcery.
I know nothing of fire. I only brought him water, as commanded.
Lies. If you protect him, you will share his fate. The god will devour you both.
Kazu, hiding nearby, watched the interrogation with a knot in his stomach. He had to find a new, safe place.
The sea caves. Dark, hidden, damp, perfect to mask the smells and sounds. But it means leaving Lyra exposed.
He slipped away toward the shore, the sound of waves guiding him to a new refuge. Above, Orin's patrols doubled. Inside the damp sea cave, by the sound of crashing waves, Kazu measured the final batch. 1 part sulfur, 3 parts tallow, 4 parts ash. He folded them together until the mixture became a sticky, volatile paste, glistening in the torchlight.
This is it. The consistency is right. It should ignite on contact with seawater.
He carefully sealed the paste inside a hollowed gourd, the airtight stopper crucial for the reaction. Lyra slipped into the cave, her arms carrying the last tools, a clay pot and a hollow reed.
My brother was given to the sea. I watched them chain him to the altar. I've dreamed of this ever since.
I promise you, Lyra, the priest will pay. Not with magic, but with truth. We'll show them that their god is just chemistry. She's put everything on the line. If this fails, we both die.
They hid the gourd among the rocks, the moon now a day from full. The final act was set. Kazu stared at the tranquil waves, knowing the next time he stood here, the sea itself would burn under the veil of the penultimate night. Kazu crept to a secluded tidal pool, the gourd heavy in his hands.
If the proportions are wrong, I am dead before the altar.
He uncorked the gourd and tilted it, the thick paste oozing into the dark water. A tense silence. Then the sea hissed and ignited, a sheet of blue-orange flame spreading across the pool.
It works. The water itself is a flame.
The fire crawled and crackled, illuminating the rocky shore with an unearthly glow. Then, a sharp intake of breath. Kazu spun to see a shadow detach itself from the boulders, a cult sentry, his face a mask of terror, fled into the night, his torch clattering to the ground.
He saw the fire, but did he see my face? The alarm will be raised.
Kazu smothered the flames with sand and vanished into the darkness. The game had changed. By dawn, the sentry's report reached Orin. The high priest's face turned to stone.
The Outworlder unleashed false fire. The Leviathan demands purification now. The sacrifice happens at midnight.
The village erupted into frantic activity. Torches were lit. The altar stone was stained anew.
Midnight. There's no time. The fool will never make it alone.
She dashed toward the sea cave. But Orin's guards had already tracked the strange light from the night before. At the cave entrance, rough hands seized Kazu before he could reach the gourd.
Lyra, run. Take the gourd. Don't let them have it.
She snatched the gourd from the rocks and fled into the shadows, tears streaming down her face. Kazu was dragged back in chains, the last hours slipping away like sand. Orin's midnight deadline was set. Now only Lyra stood between Kazu and the altar. In the dark cell, Lyra's hands trembled as she worked the lock with a sharpened bone pin.
Quiet. I have the gourd. We can still run to the boats and escape.
She pressed the sealed gourd into his hands, her eyes pleading.
If I run, I'll be nothing but a ghost. I need to make them see. This isn't magic. It's science. She risked everything. I won't let her down. This ends tonight.
Together, they slipped into the night, the distant thunder of drums drawing them toward the amphitheater. The amphitheater roared with frantic prayers, the carved Leviathan looming over the altar.
There are too many. If this fails, we die in the flames.
It's now or never. The sea will burn, and with it, their faith.
Kazu stepped toward the torchlight, the gourd clutched tight. The final act had begun. Kazu and Lyra slipped into the amphitheater's shadowed rim, using the crash of a falling stone as cover.
So many people. They're all trapped in fear. I have to break this spell.
They crouched behind a fallen pillar as the torchlit arena swelled with frantic hymns.
Look on the altar. They've brought someone else, a substitute until they find you.
On the altar, a terrified villager knelt. Orin raised a curved knife above his head.
Leviathan, accept this blood and quell the false fire. Show the Outworlder your wrath.
Kazu uncorked the gourd. The mixture hissed, a faint wisp of smoke curling upward.
This is for every life he's taken. No more gods, only truth.
Wait for the knife. Then let the sea burn.
The knife began its descent. Kazu lunged forward, the gourd ready to spill its secret. Kazu strode into the torchlight, his voice cutting through the chants. All eyes locked onto him.
Orin, your god is a lie, made of fear and ignorance. I'll prove it.
Blasphemy. Sei zu him. Tear the sorcerer apart.
The guards rushed forward, then halted. The gourd in Kazu's hands hissed and bubbled, smoke seeping from its neck.
You want a sign? Let me show you real power, power you can touch, measure, and understand.
Fool. The Leviathan will swallow your poison. The god's fury will crush you.
Kazu backed to the stone parapet, the churning sea just below. The full moon hung like a witness.
Now, Kazu, let it burn.
The god you fear is just chemistry. Watch and see your false deity drown in flames.
And with a defiant shout, he tipped the gourd. The viscous mixture pouring into the dark waves. The thick paste spread across the black water, glistening like a serpent of oil under the full moon. A terrified hush fell over the crowd.
The deep will swallow your poison, as it will swallow your bones.
No, priest. The only thing that will burn tonight is your lie, and the chains you forged.
For a long, agonizing breath, nothing happened. The waves lapped against the stone, indifferent and dark.
Why isn't it working? Did we get the ratio wrong? If it fails, they'll kill us both.
See? Your false magic dies. The Leviathan triumphs. Seize him.
The ions need time to dissociate in the salt water. Just a few more seconds.
Orin opened his mouth to gloat, his staff raised high as he signaled the guards to advance. Then, from the depths, a low hiss began, soft at first, then growing into a sibilant chorus. The crowd froze, every eye locked on the dark sea, hearts pounding in the deafening silence. And then, the sea erupted. A column of blue-orange flame shot upward, hissing like an angry serpent. The flame spread across the waves in a crawling, hissing sheet, turning night into day. The cultists screamed, a wave of panic rippling through the amphitheater as they scrambled over each other. Some fell into the water, their robes igniting, while others trampled the fallen in their desperate flight. Orin's staff clattered to the stone, his face a mask of horror as his world crumbled around him.
It's working. The fear is turning. Now they can see the truth.
The inferno roared on, the impossible light proving that the sea god was just stone and fear.
Brother, he did it. The god is a lie.
Kazu stood firm, the flames at his back, a prophet of a new age rising from the ashes of superstition. But in the chaos, Orin's eyes filled with venom. The battle for the island had only just begun.
The Leviathan curses you. See how the sea writhes in agony.
It's not a curse. It's science. The same science that makes lightning and rain.
The crowd halted, their fear swinging between the priest's holy rage and the stranger's calm certainty. A few villagers, Lyra among them, edged toward the burning sea, their eyes locking onto Kazu.
Lies. You dare defile our god with your poison, then burn with it.
Orin lunged toward Kazu, the torch raised like a spear, his robes whipping in the wind.
Go ahead, burn me, and the truth burns with you. These people will see you for what you are.
The circle of followers around Kazu tightened, their bodies forming a human shield.
You think they protect you? I'll cleanse this island in fire.
The standoff crackled like the flames behind them, the island's fate hanging in the balance.
Your god doesn't own the fire, Orin. I made it, from ash, tallow, and sulfur. Watch. I'll show you how simple it truly is.
He poured the water onto the paste. A blue flame sprung up, harmless yet mesmerizing. A young fisherman was the first to drop to his knees, his eyes wet with awe.
This is not magic, it's knowledge, and I can teach it to anyone willing to learn.
Dozens more dropped to the stones, their faith in the Leviathan crumbling to ash. Orin staggered backward, his staff forgotten, his face a twisted mask of disbelief.
This is not over. Outworlder, I will summon the true fire.
But his voice was swallowed by the cheers of the newly freed, and he fled into the shadows. Kazu looked at the kneeling crowd, not with triumph, but with the weight of what came next. The real work was just beginning. Dawn broke over the island, the sea's flames fading to black scorch marks on the water. A dozen islanders, including Lyra, cautiously approached Kazu, some kneeling, others clutching his hands.
I will teach you everything I know. How to make fire from water, how to heal without sacrifices.
The heavy stone door of the Leviathan shrine ground shut. Orin's silhouette pressed against it, a fallen prophet. In the village square, the sacrificial altar lay in rubble. Children played where sacrifices once bled.
My brother would have wept to see this day. You did it, Kazu. You broke the chains.
It's done, but the hardest part is just beginning, teaching them to think for themselves.
Kazu walked to the cliff's edge, the endless sea now just a sea, not a god. The real work lay ahead. Behind him, the shrine sat silent, its once feared priest now nothing but a frightened old man. The island was free, but Orin's shadow still lurked in the stone. Knowledge would be their true fortress. Months later, in a sunlit clearing, Kazu gathered the curious, young and old, to learn the secrets of the natural world. He drew diagrams in the dirt, the cycle of water, the mixing of elements, and their eyes widened with understanding.
See how the water rises, forms clouds and falls again. That's the same sea you feared, now just a process.
A young girl mixed ash and water in a wooden bowl, her face alight as soap formed in her hands.
We're planting seeds with fermented kelp. Your fertilizer makes them grow 4 times faster.
Where the sacrificial altar once stood, a stone table now held mortars and pestles, grinding herbs into medicine.
They're asking questions, testing ideas. This is the true victory, not breaking chains, but opening minds.
Villagers worked side by side, the old divisions forgotten, as the island slowly bloomed with new life.
Remember, knowledge is not mine. It belongs to anyone who seeks it. Question everything, even me.
The island was no paradise, but it was a beginning, and in the shrine, Orin still wept to a silent stone. The amphitheater, once stained with dread, now stood clean under a gentle sunrise. The whole island gathered for the day of revelation.
I didn't bring you a god. I brought you a method. Test everything, even me.
He warned them not to trade one tyrant for another, to keep their minds as free as the sea now was.
If I ever demand your blind faith, then cast me out. Truth dies when questions stop.
An old man, once a cultist, gathered the children and told them the story of the night the sea burned with truth. He lit the sea, the old man said, not with magic, but with the power of knowing why. The crowd dispersed in lively clusters, their voices a hum of debate and wonder, the sound of a thinking people.
This is the true victory, not a crowd kneeling, but 100 voices asking how and why.
A child tugged her father's sleeve, asking why the sea burned. He knelt and tried to explain the chemistry, his own eyes still full of wonder. And so the day of revelation ended, not with a new god, but with a new dawn for the island. Through a narrow slit in the shrine wall, Orin watched the village he once terrorized thrive without him.
The children laugh now. They never laughed when I ruled with fear.
He touched the stone Leviathan, its cold mouth offering no whispers, no divine retribution.
Are you even there? Or were you always just stone?
One morning, the heavy wooden door groaned open for the first time in months. He shuffled out, gaunt and gray. His elaborate fish-scale robes hung in tatters, stained with tears and dust. The sunlight stung his eyes like judgment.
The man who killed my brother. Yet, all I feel is pity. You look hungry.
I have nothing left, not even prayers.
He sank to his knees in the dirt, no longer a fearsome priest, just a broken old man. The island held its breath, waiting to see if the past could be buried and a new beginning found. As dusk settled, Kazu sat on a weathered rock, staring at the endless horizon where his old world had vanished.
I've given them a new world, but I'm still a stranger here. A ghost from a time that no longer exists.
Soft footsteps approached from behind. Lyra appeared, her silhouette framed by the dying light.
I thought I'd find you here.
Sometimes I need to remember what I lost, so I can fully appreciate what we're building here.
Do you miss it? Your world?
Sometimes, but I am needed here. You needed me.
She leaned her head against his shoulder, and together they watched the sea surrender to the night.
The weight is still there, the loneliness of knowing what was lost. But now, it's bearable.
In the quiet rhythm of the waves, the exile became a home, and the stranger became something more. From above, the island looked like a jewel, the scars of the altar hidden beneath new growth. The sea was calm, as if it had forgotten the flames. In the village, a new generation rose with the sun. Children gathered around a rough chalkboard, their eyes bright with curiosity. They drew circles and lines, the dance of molecules, instead of the old signs of fear. A young girl asked why the sea burned, and her teacher smiled, ready to explain. Fields flourished where blood once stained the stone. The people worked together, their hands now building, not destroying. Kazu walked among them, no longer a stranger, but a fixture, a bridge between what was and what could be. On the cliff's edge, he paused. The wind carried the sound of laughter from below, a sound that had been absent for generations. He looked out at the horizon, not with longing, but with acceptance. This was his world now, imperfect but free. A faint smile crossed his lips. The loneliness would always be there, but so was hope. The island turned toward its future, a future built on questions, not fear. And in the shrine, the old stones crumbled into dust. He had not conquered a god. He had given them the tools to see there never was one.